Alright, today we're going to want to accomplish a couple things. We want to use a graph of a line to write its equation in standard form. We also want to use a graph to write its equation in slope-intercept form. If you remember, standard form looks like this: ax plus by equals c. Slope-intercept form looks like this: y equals mx plus b. So how to convert to standard form? We need to know that to do work later on in the problems. 4 steps here kind of get it going. X's and Y's need to be to the left side of the equation. Numbers, any constants, numbers, go to the right. If we need to, multiply all terms by a lowest common denominator to clear fractions. And we need to do something to make sure the a number is positive. So again, the ax plus by equals c. A, b, and c are integers. They're not fractions, not decimals. And this a here needs to be a positive. A couple things to warm us up to this. So I have 2 equations. One's in point slope form. This guy right here is point slope. This one right here is slope-intercept. I'm going to do the one on the right first. It's a little bit easier. We basically can get it in just a couple steps. If we take away 4x from both sides of the equation, look what we have left. 8 is over here, constants on the right side, got that. Then we have negative 4x plus y. Alright, it's almost in standard form. The one thing I don't really like is that negative right here. That negative should be a positive, and we can make it a positive, and that's fine. Remember the old adage, what you do to one side of an equation, do to the other? Well, if I change all the signs on the left side, like this, make this a positive 4x and a negative y, I need to change all the signs on the right side. There we go. It's now in standard form. Notice it looks like ax plus by equals c, where a is 4, b is negative 1, and c is negative 8. Now the one over here, that's going to take a little bit more work. This is point slope form. There's going to be a little more involved. What you need to do is distribute that 2/3 to each thing. So we have 2/3 x plus 2/3. I need to move the negative 5 to the other side, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides here. And combine like terms is what I have. Y equals 2/3 x plus 5 2/3. Alright, next step. I need to get the x term to the left with the y. So the way I'm going to do that is minus 2/3 x from both sides. Similar thing happened there on the other equation when we took away 4x from both sides. So notice we have negative 2/3 x plus y is equal to 5 2/3. Now, what I'm going to do next is turn that 5 2/3 into an improper fraction. 17 over thirds. Remember, we get that from doing 5 times 3, and then we add the 2. That gives us the 17. Almost in standard form. The problem here is that we have fractions. We don't want fractions, we want whole numbers. Also, the first term, that a term, it's a negative. So here's what I'm going to do to get rid of the fractions. I'm going to determine the LCD, lowest common denominator, of all the denominators of all the fractions in this problem. 3. The only one is 3. That's not all. I'm also going to, instead of multiplying everything by 3, I'm going to make it a negative 3. And that will get rid of the negative 2/3. We take this negative 3 and multiply it to each item. And look what we have. Positive 2x, negative 3y. and a negative 17. And now I am in standard form. All right, let's try another one. What is the equation of this line in point slope form, and what is it in standard form? Okay, so first we're going to do point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. All right, let's figure out the slope. This looks like it's kind of helping us here. We're going down to, think of it as -2. It looks like we're going to the right 4. Slope is -2 over 4, -1/2. There's our slope, -1/2. And we're going to choose this point as our x1 and y1. The x1 is 4, so I'm going to say x minus 4. The y1 is 2, so over here I have y minus 2. Now it's in point slope form, so that answers the first question. I need to convert this to standard form. So I got a couple steps to do here now. Distribute that -1/2. Look what I get. -1/2 x plus 2, because -1/2 times -4 is a positive 2. Then I have y minus 2 over here. Didn't mess with that. Alright, I'm going to get a little bit fancy here and do 2 steps at once. I need to move the x term to the left to be there with the y. I need to move the -2 to the right to be so I get all the numbers on the right side. So one thing I'm going to do is add 1/2 x to both sides here, and I'll show that over here, plus 1/2 x. The other thing is I need to move that 2. I'm going to get rid of it by doing plus 2 to both sides. And then just go through and add all the terms together. Y and 1/2 x, 1/2 x plus y. The 2's go away. The -1/2 x's and positive 1/2 x cancels out. I'm left with 4. I'm almost in standard form. I almost have the ax plus by equals c. I just need to get rid of the 1/2, and the way I get rid of 1/2 is by multiplying everything by LCD of 2, the one and only denominator. You can think of it like that. Times 2 times 2 times 2, 1x plus 2y equals 4. 1x plus 2y equals 4. That is my standard form of this equation. All right, let's try again. What is the equation in slope-intercept form, and what is it in standard form? So this time we're going for slope-intercept form. All right, slope-intercept. Remember slope-intercept? Y equals mx plus b. That's slope-intercept. We just need 2 things. We need the slope and the y-intercept. Seems to cross the y-intercept at 2. So right away I know the b number is 2. The slope, it looks like I'm going down 3 and right 1 to get into another point. Here we can try it again. Down 3, right 1. Slope, -3. That means I went down, and then I went to the right 1. So that would be a positive 1. The slope is -3 over 1. Simplifies to just -3. That goes right here, -3 for the m. And now I have the equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals -3x plus 2. I want to convert it to standard. In order to put it to standard, I need all the x's and y's to one side, and I can do that with one easy step, and I'll be done. Add 3x to both sides. And there we are in standard form. 3x plus y equals 2. So I've got another one. Now all we're going to give you is just an equation, a graph of a linear equation. We don't know really anything about it other than 2 points on the line. so we don't even know the slope yet. It doesn't look like it's very easy to count either. So we're going to have to use the slope formula. So what we're going to do, we're going to start out standard form, or point slope form. We're going to start out with that. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Need to figure out the slope. The slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's how you find the slope using 2 points. Let's call the y2 right there, that 3. That's our y2. How about the y1 right there, -1 minus -1. The x2 is 1/2. And the x1 looks like a -4. Now this will be a little tricky. We've got a fraction within a fraction. Top's going to be 4 because 3 minus -1 is 4. On the bottom, we have 1/2 minus a -4, which is really 1/2 plus +4, 4 1/2. All right, to convert this, to simplify it, I'm going to write 4/2 as an improper fraction. 4 1/2 is 9/2. Still working on the slope down here. Let me write it horizontally. 4 divided by 9/2. 4/1 times the reciprocal, 2/9. And that gives us 8/9. All right. We can now create that equation in point slope form. And I'll use this point as my x1 and y1. Y plus 1 equals 8/9 the slope times parentheses x plus 4. All right. Still not done because we have to create this in standard form. First thing we're going to do is distribute the 8/9. So we're going to get y plus 1 equals 8/9 x plus 32/9. I'm going to now take away 8/9 x from both sides. And then take away the 1 from both sides, kind of like I did on that other one. That way I'll have all of the x's and y's to one side, and then I'll have all of the constants, numbers, to the other side. Here's what we have, -8/9 x plus y equals, I have 32/9 minus 1. Okay, let me write that horizontally. 32/9 minus 1. Instead of saying -1, I'm going to say -9/9. That way I can simplify it. So here's what we have. -8/9 plus y. Forgot the x there. Plus y equals, and then 32 minus 9 gives us a 23/9. I think that's right. And then we need to clear the fractions. We need to find the lowest common denominator. The lowest common denominator is the only denominator, 9. But I'm going to multiply it by a -9. Why do I do that? To get rid of that negative on the front. Remember, the a number needs to be positive. So here we go. Final answer. Positive 8x minus 9y equals -23. And that is the equation in standard form. All right, one more thing to show here. Special lines. When you have a vertical line, the only way to write that equation is just x equals a number, and the number you write is the x coordinate, -2. Horizontal lines have just a y in it, the y value, y equals 1. And there we go.